Hello, bookworms, bibliophiles, and lovers of all things literature, and welcome to the next chapter of the Braless Book Guild podcast, where we discard our bras and promote the literary gay agenda by talking about books both published and unpublished. We are your hosts. I'm Jenna. This is Marissa.
Hello.
And that's Megan.
Hello.
And as always, let's get started today with talking about what we're drinking. Megan, why don't you start out?
It is over there, but I'm drinking one of the Adagio.
Yeah.
Is it Adagio? Okay, Adagio, like they give you little samples whenever you buy a lot of tea, and it was pina colada, and I think it had hibiscus, apple, pineapple, coconut.
Yeah.
The more I drink it, though, the more it starts tasting like suntan oil, so I'm not really
Oh, no.
into that as much, but it's not bad. Not like yours.
So on that note, I'm drinking the Blue Eyes from our local tea shop, and it's lavender, pineapple, and coconut with butterfly pea flower, so it's a nice pretty purple color. But it's definitely heavy on the pineapple and coconut. My favorite way to drink this usually is we get like a pineapple puree, so I make it like extra pineapple-y, and
Yes.
we add extra butterfly pea flower, and it literally tastes like a nice cocktail, and butterfly pea flower is like high in antioxidants. It's really soothing. It kind of like helps relax you a little bit. So we always joke at the tea shop. Me and Angela started calling it the CTFO, which is chill the F out. So if you ever go there and that's what you want, that's it. It's so good. But Marissa hates pineapple.
Correct.
And so I was like, Marissa will not enjoy this. So I go, Megan, here, have a sip. And Megan goes, oh my God, coconut. I was like, wait a minute, you're drinking a pina colada. I thought you'd be safe. But no.
I love real coconut. Like I can have Mounds bars all day, every day.
Sweetened
And
coconut.
What I put, like I make a blueberry cheesecake that has like a coconut graham cracker crust, and it's
Okay.
so good.
Yeah.
I love regular coconut. But
Not so much like the flavor, just
Yeah.
coconut flavor. This is real pieces of coconut in this, but it's definitely going to just give it that coconut flavor, which is different. And also, I think, as you said, if you associate it with suntan screen,
suntan oil.
Yeah.
I
And-
also, but I put coconut in my Amina Al Sarafi
Oh yeah.
chai,
Yeah.
and I thought that was pretty darn good.
That's
I don't know what
true.
it is.
Maybe you just aren't enjoying pineapple and coconut together.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or the lavender coconut.
What's the other drink that's similar to a pina colada that like people always have at like pool parties or something? There's a pina colada and then something else.
All I could think of is Long Island iced tea, but I know it's not that.
I was going to say Mai Tais, but
Mai Tai
that's
might be-
also very complicated. I don't think that's something that's easy. I mean, margaritas, which is...
My parents always make margaritas, and
Yeah.
they give me the glass before they put the alcohol in it. We do mango margaritas because
Yum.
mango margaritas for Megan.
We used
Yeah.
to do that with my mom all the time too. She would have margaritas by the pool and
Yeah.
smoke and read her book or whatever. And so she would have us make margaritas, and she's like, "You can make the virgin and then put the alcohol in for me
Later,
after."
yeah. Yeah.
Not us. We had the alcoholic one, but we were older than you. So
Yeah, well, yeah.
we were allowed. But you were like 14.
Yeah. I was younger than that, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, every
It's
time I think
whatever.
of pools and typical party drinks, for some reason it's margaritas, even though I'm pretty sure typical party drinks for a typical teenager are probably
Corona.
jungle juice, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Jungle juice.
It's everything. You just pour everything in a big punch bowl.
Oh, you know what Michael Scott calls that? A one of everything.
Yeah. No, one of everything.
I don't know. I just think of all the like parties that we had during valet with after your valet group, but more my valet group of like it was always Coronas. There was
Yep.
Coronas everywhere.
Beer. It's
Yep.
beer. It's usually people will bring like vodka and whatever they want to mix in it.
Mhm.
So like vodka and random juices. But yeah, that's kind of the go-to.
I think it was a daiquiri, strawberry daiquiri. That was
Oh,
what I was
yeah.
thinking of. I had to look it up.
That's what you had for Pride, right?
Yeah.
When we went to Pride, they
Yeah.
had like 3 different drinks that you could order, and you always got the strawberry daiquiri.
They were so good. I love strawberry daiquiris. Me and tequila aren't friends anymore, so rum is safe.
Is anyone friends with tequila?
People delude themselves into thinking they're friends with tequila. I think people delude themselves into thinking they're friends with alcohol, but it's fine.
Fair.
That's what I was joking with my mom about having the ultrasound yesterday. And I was like, it's just going to go right through me. because my liver is spick and span, never been used.
Yep. Yep.
Can't say that.
Yeah, that's absolutely not true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so since we're a tea, book, and apparently alcohol podcast today, but we thought we'd start today or end Pride Month. Start this episode. Actually, not start. Just talk this episode.
You okay
the
over
whole
there,
time.
Jenna?
No, I'm not. Look,
This
my
is why you
brain
kept
is-
skipping the host.
Yes,
Because you're
this
like,
is
I'm done
why.
talking.
She said she woke up from a nap at 4.
Oh yeah, it was. So my husband had a meeting this morning at like 6:30 in the morning, and so he had to leave the house at like 6, and that's much earlier than any of us usually get up. Which of course then woke my son up, and of course I couldn't sleep the night before, so I got like no sleep the night before. So when we went to put our son down for a nap today, we all knocked out. We all like passed out hard because you have to keep it all dark and quiet and it's cool in the room and you're under the blankets, and yeah, we all just fell asleep. And all of a sudden it's like I was waking up at 4 and I was like, God, please tell me that we're not recording yet. Marissa's not off work. But yeah, so my brain's still asleep, still in nap time.
I can tell you totally skipped me. I never even talked about what I was
Oh,
drinking.
Marissa, what are you drinking today?
I brought it over here prepared so I could be like, oh, it's got all of this stuff in it. And
Marissa's drinking a daiquiri and a margarita
With tequila.
with tequila.
no, I don't drink tequila. I
No.
am not a tequila person. Every once in a while I'll have a margarita, but I do not drink tequila.
Can you do a margarita with rum?
I don't think it would be considered a margarita.
No, but I'm
Okay.
sure you can. Like,
Yeah.
you could just put rum in margarita mix and it would be fine.
It wouldn't have the same effect, I don't feel.
Well, especially if you did Malibu.
Yeah.
I think Malibu rum in a margarita mix would be really good.
With a name like
Sure.
that.
Malibu has like a coconutty, pineapple-y kind of flavor to it.
Oh, okay.
It's a little tropical.
Okay.
Yeah. Ironic
Anyways.
for Marissa to be talking about.
I'm not drinking.
Marissa's
I'm
not
not drinking
drinking.
alcohol right now. I am drinking tea. I am drinking what is called rosé all day. I think Jenna drank it a couple episodes ago. But it's got apple pieces, papaya cubes, papaya sugar, flavoring, rose petals, freeze-dried strawberries, and white cornflower blossoms.
Oh, that does sound good.
I would say that one actually does taste a lot like a non-alcoholic rosé.
Never mind.
No, it's sweet. It's kind of like light and fruity and sweet. It just
is
has
very
like a.
light, fruity, and sweet.
It's
Just like you?
it's not.
I don't think I am. I think the only thing that's in there that describes me as fruity.
Dark fruity.
I think
and-
you're sweet.
Well, thanks.
She's like, dang, my image is ruined now.
Right?
I've worked
My
so hard
reputation.
I was gonna say dark, fruity, and sour, but I think you're a gummy.
Ooh.
You're like my child, the Sour Patch Kid. You're
Well-
sour than sweet.
When we were talking about what type of like fruit we would be, and you said that I would be a cranberry because I'm bitter and not a lot of people like me.
A lot of people, but the people that do are diehard fans.
Yeah.
Cranberry juice is my favorite.
Literally,
Oh, the funny thing is I hate cranberries, and now cranberries has become my gamer tag in like everything. So everybody I play games with, they're like, "Oh, do you love cranberries or do you love the band Cranberries?" And I'm like,
neither.
I just it's because I'm bitter.
my friend Maya, everyone would say, "Hey Maya, papaya," and so her name was not a papaya.
Not a
There you go.
papaya. I
And
love
was
it.
like, there you go.
Jenna's on Xbox because we do the random thing way back when of like just put a random name in
Generate.
there. Yeah, she was a pretzel.
Yeah.
Pretzel.
It was
Yeah.
pretzel. Funny enough, I love pretzels, so I was like, sold. But yeah,
Back when you were target practice when we played Halo.
yeah. I don't. Do you remember Mike from high school?
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Which mic?
The
Casey's mic? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to teach me how to play Halo, and he'd just get the like pink pew pew
Needler.
gun. Yeah, the needler, and because it doesn't kill you, it just does damage. So
It
he'd
does
like
kill you, but
I mean, you really have to try. Yeah, it's not gonna like one shot kill you like another gun might. So he'd hit me with that just to see if I could get like turn to like shoot at him, and he was like, it's like shooting puppies. It's sad. He's like, you're just
gosh.
like target practice because I cannot. The two joysticks, like
she
trying to
couldn't
control
look
it.
and move at the same
Yeah,
time.
so it's like I could move and then look and then move and then look, and so a lot of times if I tried to do both, I just end up looking at the ceiling and going in circles.
yeah.
So
I liked the sword because guess what? It was rainbow.
Yes, it was. It was very rainbow.
That's
What
all I
shot kill?
wanted.
Yep.
It was?
Yeah.
I know
That's why
nothing.
everybody wanted the sword, was because it was a one-shot kill, and it lunged, like, straight for you, so you didn't even have to aim. You just had to be kind of looking at the
Oh.
person, and it lunged and killed them.
See,
Nice.
shows you how much I know. I just wanted it because it was rainbow.
It was pretty.
Anyways, Jenna, you want to talk about what we are...
So what we're actually talking about, which I tried to talk about earlier, but forgot about Marissa and her drink.
That's about right.
We decided what we're going to do is we're pretty much going to gush at you guys about LGBTQ books or stories that we really enjoy that we're hoping that you will pick up. So we each chose one that we've read semi-recently and can talk about. And we're going to convince you, the listeners, to read it, and maybe each other if the others haven't read it. But like mine, you guys have both read before me. So yeah, we're going to do a convince you, listener, to give this a try. And since I know literally nothing about it, I want to start with Marissa, and also because it's not a book.
Yeah, I kind of cheated, guys. I didn't choose a book, and it's mostly because I've been wanting to talk about this, and nobody reads it. So I chose a webtoon comic, and all right, so I'm going to put you in the first scene of the book.
Set the stage.
Yeah.
Set
set
the
the
stage.
stage.
Yeah.
Shows your mind palace.
So imagine, if you will, a Black Widow-esque interrogation scene where she is sitting in the chair with daggers surrounding her throat, like floating around surrounding her throat, but she's the one asking questions and trying to get information.
Oh, okay. Very Black Widow. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
There's like a back and forth between her and the other guy. She's like, hey, why are you stepping in on our gang's territory? And who are you working for? And he's not giving anything up. He's like, I don't think you understand the situation you're in. Anyways, a lot of back and forth. Eventually, he gets tired of her not doing what he wants, so he cuts off her head.
What? Okay, that's not where I expected that to go.
And then she stands up, picks up her head, and puts it back on.
Definitely not where I thought this was going.
I imagine an Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, very similar. And she's like, look, I really don't think you know who you're messing with. And when he still refuses to cooperate with her, she blows up the entire building, including her in it. Everybody, him, her, everybody in it.
Okay.
Don't worry, she's fine.
She's fine.
So yes, that is like the first scene of the book. And
Oh my
then this
gosh.
guy who's like her driver comes up and finds her body in the rubble and like only really finds her waist, and like her spine is just starting to grow, and he's like pulling her along by her belt to get her back to the car, and she's just slowly reforming into herself. So this webtoon is called Sunset Phoenix by Never Draws. In Sunset Phoenix, the world they have obviously has magic in it. Magic is an energy source just like anything else, like heat or electricity. People can contain magic as an energy source, but humans have a very limited amount of magical energy. So for the most part, they can do like party tricks. They can make things float, like the daggers, or they can, you know, do a small flame to like light a cigarette or something like that. But eventually it's going to run out. Where these beings called phoenixes have unlimited amount of power, which basically is what makes them immortal, lets them heal, because their power just constantly heals them. And now it's not always right away. The more they get hurt, the faster they heal. But like if it's like the first time that they die, it's going to take them longer to heal and regenerate. In this particular like city setting that they're in, there is a crime syndicate where each faction is run by a phoenix. So I have to pull it up because I'm gonna forget all of them.
Is it a phoenix in the literal sense or a phoenix as in a person?
A phoenix is a person.
Okay.
So they're a person with unlimited amount of magic.
Okay.
So you have the Shadow Syndicate, which has the Black Phoenix, who is Jet.
I could see Jenna being in that already.
Their specialty is blackmail.
Okay.
Basically, they're the ones that pay off the cops and like find blackmail on people and stuff like that to help keep everything running. And they are non-binary. part of that is because they also hide their identity.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like, we don't actually know who this person is, so they are them. They are Jet.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You have the Goldenrod Gang, which is production, so they produce like weapons and stuff like that. Run by Daisy Parker, who is the Yellow Phoenix. You have... I didn't pick this book because of this. Marissa Lamb is the Purple Phoenix. She is the, and it says in parentheses, cult leader of the Lilac Circle, which handles laundering, basically. So she's got the legitimate church that launders the money that they can get through all of that.
It sounds like a real church.
You have Valentine Yu, who is one of our main characters, who is the one with the knives to her throat that got her head chopped off and everything. She's the Blue Phoenix, the leader of the Midnight Ring, whose specialty is smuggling. And then you have Sloane Bailey, who is the Red Phoenix, the leader of the Sunset family, and their specialty is vices.
Vices?
Yes.
So like alcohol?
Like alcohol,
Drugs.
gambling, stuff like that.
Okay. Actually, I take it back. I see you in the laundering or the
Having a cult.
the blue one. What was the blue one again?
The Midnight one, so they do the smuggling.
Smuggling. I could see you in the smuggling.
Yeah.
Marissa, I see you vices because
Because you work at a casino.
Interesting. If you actually saw the pictures of these people, you would probably see me as the Goldenrod Gang because she's got the short, like, faux hawk hair.
oh, okay, cool.
But, yeah. So, anyways, each of these different gangs have a phoenix that heads them. I gave you all their names. And then, like, their crews underneath them, right? Well, the plot of the story, then, that's the setting. The plot of the story is Valentine, the Midnight Gang one. She has a spy in the Sunset Gang. And she goes to go check in with her spy and be like, hey, how's it going? What's going on here? And when she goes to meet her, she finds her spy in a boat with the dead body of the Sunset Phoenix surrounded by her and the murder weapon of the only weapon that could kill a phoenix in her hand.
Oh.
And her spy immediately goes, I didn't do it. She's like, it kind of looks like you did.
Is this bad luck or is this bad lying?
Right? So the whole plot of it really is that, like, they don't want to start a war. So if the other gangs, the other, like, factions find out that one of the phoenixes is dead and they know that faction is weak, they would try to, like, grab at it and start a war, basically. So they're trying to figure out who the real killer is because it's not Amelia who is her spy.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the, like, second in command for the Sunset Phoenix does see Amelia at the crime scene and thinks it's her, so she's trying to kill Amelia because whoever kills a phoenix gets the power of a
Oh,
phoenix.
snap.
So she's trying to kill Amelia so she could become the phoenix and take over the Sunset Gang like she was supposed to.
But if Amelia didn't kill them, she doesn't have the power.
Exactly.
So who's got the power? Is
That's
the
what the question is.
Yeah.
So they're trying to solve this murder while also trying to keep Amelia alive and make sure nobody else knows about it.
Right. And fend
attention.
off or that's what you just said, yeah.
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 So,
Dang.
and Amelia and Valentine kind of have this weird chemistry going on, but also it's like tumultuous. So, you know, that's where the queer comes in. They're
Will they,
definitely a
won't
little,
they?
not even a will they, won't they. It's just kind of like they flirt sometimes, but Amelia definitely thinks like I could also just kill Valentine now and get the Phoenix power, so that helps me. But
That is definitely tumultuous.
yes.
If you're also thinking about killing them, then...
But here's the other weird thing. Valentine kind of has a death wish.
I mean, just from the beginning.
She is very much like... They talk about it. There's a point where Valentine's talking with another one of the phoenixes, and they go like, I've been a phoenix hundreds of years more than you have been, and I think you've died like 10 times more than I have.
Dang.
Because Valentine's whole thing is just explosions. Like, she's like, I'll blow everybody up because it's a win-win situation. Like, if I blow up this entire place, I'm not going to die, but you guys do.
It's very Deadpool
Yes.
coded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very chaos, and I mean, if I lose a limb, it's fine. I'll get it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which she does. She gets her limbs shot off a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very much like that. The humor in it, I love the humor in it. It's kind of one of that nonchalant humor that you have of like, this is a very dire situation. I'm gonna make a sarcastic comment about it. Like,
Love those.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
And what is the art style like? Because since you said it's a webtoon,
I don't know how to describe art styles. I'm not an artist.
actually- I
is
looked
it
up
simplified
pictures.
or is it very detailed?
It's pretty detailed. I think.
Okay.
I think it's somewhere in between. But like, there, Jenna's bringing stuff up for you to look at.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so I would say it. May I see the picture?
Yeah. It's funny because I typed in Sunset Phoenix, not thinking about the fact that Phoenix is actually a place where you.
Yeah,
So Sunsets at Phoenix is what I got.
Yeah.
I would say this feels like someone who's trying to emulate Korra, The Legend of Korra.
Okay.
I wouldn't say like 100%. Like they have their own art style for sure.
But it has that kind of vibe.
But it's like a mix between The Legend of Korra and like a comic book, but a simplified comic book, I would say. I think the art style is fantastic. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely like it's. I think it's a unique one because I think you get a lot of webcomics and you get a lot of the very. I don't know how to describe it, but like almost like they all look the same, like typical,
Yeah.
like copy paste type style.
Similar like how manga
Yeah,
like goes
kinda.
through trends of like they all like look like this specific style or something like
Yeah, it's like every face kind of looks the same, but the
Yeah.
hair is different, so
There
it's
you go,
a
that's
different
how- yeah.
person. Yeah.
yeah.
Where this one's like everybody's unique in it,
They
and
have
that's
their own-
something I like.
Yeah.
And it's a very color coded. Like all of the Midnight Gang is all like blue,
Oh, they're
like,
Power Rangers.
accents and stuff like that. Yeah, Goldenrod Gang has all the yellow, Sunset's all the red, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
By our powers combined, Captain Planet. So my question then is, for that, is it a like they all kind of work together almost?
Yeah, so they have meetings once every week, I think, and that's where the deadline kind of comes in of like, hey, we have to make sure we find this killer before our next meeting,
right?
because they'll know that the Sunset Phoenix is dead.
right.
So they're trying to find this killer by that deadline, and it actually has like those big numbers of like day 2 this time and everything like that of them trying to find this killer, because they start their meetings off and they go like, okay, first part of the meeting business is money, so they take the money on the table, they all sort it out, and they go, okay, what other business do they have, and go through that. They don't go through the meetings like step by step, but
Okay.
they'll literally the first episode, chapter, whatever, is the scene I described to you, and then she goes to the meeting with everybody.
Yeah. And is it done? Is it fully completed? Like fully
It
ready?
is not.
Okay,
It
it's
is still
ongoing.
going.
Okay.
So that is something that you can think about. But they just started season 2.
Okay. Cool.
And it is consistently a weekly thing. So
Oh, wow.
it is every Friday, I think. it gets
Dedication,
updated.
man.
Yeah. And I like it too because like the artist and author, they've got like TikTok and stuff like that, and they did a trailer for their thing where they voiced
cool.
the character. I don't know if it was them that voiced it, but they voiced the characters of like, it's really cool. I highly recommend it. I'll send it to you so you can watch it. But the trailer is fun.
yeah.
I mean, we could always pin it on our Instagram too when we post this, so that
Yeah.
people can see the trailer for it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty
really
cool.
good.
I think that I vaguely remember you talking about it, and I want to say I was going in for my infusion treatments, and we were talking about it because you were reading it at the time.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
I don't
was reading
remember
it.
what you were telling me about it, but I remember being like, "This actually sounds really interesting." But I think it was like midway through something, and you had to kind of give me a quick summary of what was going on.
Yeah,
But you're like, and then this happened, and I don't remember what it was. So the good news is that I don't remember anything that could possibly be a spoiler.
yeah,
That's nice.
yeah. They it does a really good job of like, it does good cliffhangers. I think without it being like super frustrating cliffhangers.
Yeah.
It's still like one of those, oh, I can't wait for the next chapter to come out so I
Yeah.
can read it type thing. It's got really good, unique characters on each of them. That's something that I really like, is having good characters. Like you have Lance, who's the driver, and he's just like, he's there to help. He's like a really good like right hand man, but he's so tired because he stays up just to help him. You're like, Lance, take a nap. It's okay.
Yeah. And was Lance the one that grabbed her by the belt?
Yeah.
And dragged
And
her,
he
yeah.
like grabs her out and he says something along the lines of like, I'll wait till you get your vocal cords back to talk to you or something like that.
But she doesn't have ears, so she can't hear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just talking to her butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I will for sure read this. I think. I don't know when, but I will do it.
Yes. I recommend it. It's one of the few. I've got like 2 webtoons that I will like pay for the coins to read it in advance
okay, yeah.
to get the like 4 episodes that are posted before the free ones. So
Nice.
yeah.
How much is that? Do you mind me asking?
I don't remember.
Okay.
You get like a stack of coins for like if I put $10, I'll get like 400 coins or something like that. I don't remember how much it is.
Okay. Okay. But it'll last you a while enough that
But
you're.
yeah, it's usually about 7 coins per episode for
Okay.
something, depending on the popularity of it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
I do want to read it just because I want to actually just genuinely read more webtoons because I kind of like, in high school we chased that manga life.
Yep.
Like there was no end to it. And I just genuinely haven't, like, I've reread my favorites over the years, but I haven't like found a story. I guess Lore Olympus, but that one, everyone loves Lore Olympus. And then I also really liked Punderland, but the problem was since, I binge it up until a point and then I forget about it. So I don't ever consistently say, okay, it's Friday, it's webtoon time.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind having one like that to look forward to, especially when my YouTubers are now going from weekly posts to bi-monthly or whatever that is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I like it because, like I said, I don't have a lot of webtoons that I read. I've got like 3 of them, 2 of them that I'll pay for the like advanced part. So one of them comes out on Thursdays, and then Sunset Phoenix comes out on Friday. So it's nice because it's like today I'll get one, and then tomorrow I
you
get one,
and then nothing.
and
for
then I
a
have to
week.
wait a week.
I know.
5 days of nothing.
Yeah.
It's like I saw on Reddit just the other day, people were like talking about how like shows on like Disney Plus or Netflix are starting to do the weekly cadence again. And they're like, no, that's TV.
Yeah.
We're not here for TV.
Yeah.
And I know that the whole point is to get people coming back,
Yeah.
especially so that way, they're paying their monthly subscriptions. So,
So you don't
Handmaid's
just buy it
Tale.
for one month and
Right. And
watch
then watch as
everything.
much as you can, yeah.
yeah.
Which millennials are smart,
Yes.
but they've
Look.
picked up on it.
I also want to tell you guys one other thing I forgot to talk about was
Ooh.
the weapon that can kill phoenixes.
I was going to ask about that, yes.
Yeah, so it's called a Phoenix Feather Blade, and it's really cool because it's basically tattooed on a person. It's this black blade that's tattooed on a person.
Okay.
And everybody has a different type of blade. So like Amelia's is kind of like a broadsword that like starts at her middle finger and goes like up her arm, and she can just like pull it out, and then it's this big black shadow blade. Val has like a rapier on her back that she can pull out. It's a different blade for each one. Basically, the idea of it is it's a blade that negates magic. So
Oh.
that's when it harms a phoenix, they can't heal from that. They have to heal like a normal person. So if they do like a little cut across the cheek, they have to wait for it to heal like a normal person. But if they like cut off their head, you can't heal from
can't.
that.
Yeah.
So does everyone have it then?
No. So
Okay.
the only way to get one is a phoenix can bestow one upon somebody. So one of the big things of why Val wants to find out who murdered her is because Val's going to look like suspect number 1 of I gave you a phoenix blade to
murder.
kill her because you're my spy.
Yeah.
So
And that's-
she's getting framed too.
That explains, because I did have the question of, she's like, you said, oh, now she can like kill Val whenever she wants. And I was just like, but how? Wouldn't Val take away the weapon?
Nope,
But
it's on them. It's
right, now that
tattooed
you
on
explained
them.
that, I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And like I said, it's cool because everybody has like different types of blades. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, the same blade tattooed on everybody. It's like everybody has their own unique one.
So it sounds like things could get kinky.
Things kind of get kinky.
It's like, I have a blade that can actually like do actual harm to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. I feel like I'm like ready to already rate it. Oh, right, because usually when we do stuff like this, we always say like how
likely
how
before
likely
you
are you to
know
read
it.
it. I don't know. It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd read it.
Yeah.
I would love it if you guys read it because I'd love to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah. It's always really nice because since I just recently watched Arcane and then Jenna did Yellow Jackets, that
Yeah.
like talking about it with us, and Haley's doing Handmaid's Tale for me, and I'm just so grateful.
Yeah.
Because it's just been me and my mom for so long. And even my dad will walk in and he'd be like, "Isn't that Serena?" And we'd be like, "Yes." And he's like, "Why is she doing that?" And we're like, "Because it's Serena." If you were here from the beginning, Dad,
You'd
you would
know.
know.
You would understand.
Yeah. But it's also really hard to not like be like, because I did say, oh, this part like from season 2 or something really made me think, and Haley's like, I'm not there yet, and I was like, oh shoot, sorry. I thought it like happened before the point that you're at.
Yeah.
So I have to be
I
like-
have to use IMDb a lot to like
Where?
look at the
Episode lists or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To be like, what's happening in this one?
Yeah, I made Marissa look up what was going on to let me know what to skip for Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
that's good.
Go tell me when to skip this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I looked up the episode description, then I went and watched those 2 episodes to
To
be
know
like,
the timing.
yeah. So you can either skip this entire episode or just skip the team parts of this episode
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah, I like having things that I can talk to people about. I feel like that's the hardest part is that sometimes I'll get into like these grooves where I'm like, okay, like I watched Yellow Jackets and I read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and I had these books, or these things I could talk to you guys about. And then I would pick something up and I'm like, you guys don't know anything about this. Who do I
Yeah.
talk to about this?
Yeah.
And I'm too introverted. I'm not going to talk to strangers online about this.
Not even on Reddit?
Oh no, I'm not on Reddit.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll look stuff up and be on Reddit every once in a while, but I don't like post or talk to people
Yeah.
there.
That was literally me looking up Acolyte stuff, the
Yeah.
Acolyte Star Wars stuff just today, because I was like, this one, the visual companion or whatever is coming out, and I was just like, oh, what are people talking about? There's some spoilers in there for what would have happened in season 2 if it wasn't canceled. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The closest I've come to that is every once in a while I'll be on like Discords for like people that I've joined their like Patreon or something like that for, and so I'll put something. Somebody responded to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I respond once, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to people.
That's done.
I'm
That's
done.
done. Yeah. But we want people to talk to us in Brawlers Book Guild. I'll
Right.
deal with it.
Look, if you guys want to talk to us, we are okay with you initiating conversation.
Yes, I can initiate it.
Yes.
You guys talk to me, that's fine. I will try to respond. You could ask them. I don't respond well to anything.
It's just because you're not active on social media very often. So when you get things coming through, you're just like, I'll deal with it later.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% that person that's like, I don't want a notification on my screen. And I mark it as read and never go read it.
Oh, dang. That explains so much.
Yeah, that's why I never respond to like half of the. Not that I haven't read it. There'll be times like I'll have to go back and read
Yeah.
through our like whole entire thread, whether it's a D&D or Brawlers Book Guild or whatever. I'm like 20 messages behind. I don't know what's going on.
I will say, though, you are very good about keeping up for when D&D is.
Yes, because I look at that and I'm like, okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
there it
That's
is.
the one thing I need to remember.
Exactly.
The only thing I actually have to pay attention to.
So even if you don't respond or initiate or anything,
Yeah.
you still know when D&D is.
The only time I'm going to respond is if I can't do D&D that day.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, Marissa will say sometimes, she'll be like, I just assume that if I don't say anything, people know that, yeah, it works.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, wow. Okay, in my brain, if you don't respond, that's a no for me. Because I am very much a like positive reinforcement person. So if you do not respond, so this also explains so much for our Brawlers Book Guild chat. Because in my brain, if I say something and I suggest something and nobody responds, that is a no. And I'm just like, okay, that's it then.
Oh, no.
Denied.
We're
That is
usually like, if
100%
I have
me.
a negative, I'll be like, no. But like,
Oh.
if it's all good, it's like, okay, but you also have to understand too, like my dad, anytime that we send anything to him, we either get a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's all we get.
He's the Emperor of Rome.
More often than not, it's a thumbs up or maybe an explanation if it's a negative. So we've just taken that and been like, all right,
That's how it is.
that's how it is.
Okay.
And then we thought, how can we do what Dad does, but less?
You evolved
Yes.
Yeah.
to be less.
I'm like,
Yes.
if I have a problem with something, I'll say it. But if I don't have a problem with something, don't say anything. It's
Right.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you know.
I'm gonna have to rewire my entire brain for you guys.
Either
It's
that
okay.
or I'll message Jenna on the side and be like, I don't know how I feel about this. What do you think?
That's what I just imagined happen. You guys are just like, yeah, oh, Megan's doing it again.
Megan's got this idea and we don't like it. How do we
Don't
tell
like
her
it.
no?
Just- so I'll never know if it's a positive or a negative.
Well, you'll know because if we decide that it's a negative, we'll message back and say it's a negative. But if we decide, no, it's fine, then we'll be like, okay, leave it.
No news is good news, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
There
This
you
just in.
This just in.
2 years later.
go. Right.
Or I guess it's more a year and 9 months.
Longer
Almost
than that if you think
September.
about it.
Almost.
Technically 2017,
I
right?
would
Yeah.
say almost 10 years.
Jeez.
It's 8.
We are closer to 10 years than we are not.
It depends on your perspective.
I am a glass half full person.
We are. I am.
Yeah. Okay.
Course correction.
So for mine, I'm going to talk about 2, but the first one I wanted to talk about is Ladies' Night, Knight, and that is by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. And this one is young adult, but I would say, I don't know, it reads a little young adult, but it also reads very like My Lady Jane, like it feels like a companion novel to My Lady Jane, honestly, where it has fourth wall breaks, where the
Love it.
author's like, it has women. What?
Fourth wall breaks. I love it.
Oh yeah.
That's literally Marissa. If you watch any type of media and it's fourth wall breaks, Marissa's like, yes, I must watch this.
Okay. Well, let me face Martha then.
In that case,
But yeah, so it has fourth wall breaks where the authors will come in and just be like, okay, we want you to imagine a castle. And what is in your castle? Is it going to have a moat? Are there like crocodiles in your castle? Which might seem a little silly. But then it like a little bit, I would say like a quarter of the way through the book, they come back and they're just like, we know what you're thinking. This guy's the bad guy, but we just want to like remind you that he's actually doing like pretty good stuff for the country. So even though he's bad, he's actually kind of helping the people. But also we should remind you that there is such thing as unreliable narrators. And I was just like, yeah,
okay.
so there's stuff like that. It is also sapphic, which is great. But it's kind of, I wouldn't say like a slow burn because they're very much like the first time they see each other, they're just like, hello, she's pretty, I like her. But the basic premise of this is there's Gwen and, of course I forgot her name.
Hold.
Gwen and,
I can do this.
Jenna's like, my time to shine. Research
My time
mode.
to shine. I love my research.
I keep wanting to say like Liliana, Eleanor?
Isabel.
Isabel.
Lady Isabel.
That's
Yeah,
close.
see an L.
Yeah. All right.
At the end.
So it follows Isabel and Gwen is taking over her father's blacksmith business, and she's having a hard time because men, like, even though the people of her village like really trust her and understand, they don't ever acknowledge. So they'll like come into the shop and be like, we need your father to make this for me. And she's like, yes, I will get right on that. And they're like, great, tell him we say thank you. And she's like, I'll have that for you in a week. And so it's kind of like really frustrating for her that, you know, she's not accepted. So just for funsies, she like starts making her own armor and a sword. And she decides that she's going to just go out for the tournament that's going to happen for Market Day. And that is the jousting tournament. So she like, and there's something like special about her horse as well, but that's a spoiler. Anyway, so she,
Is it the king?
no. the prince. Anyway, what was his name? Guilford or something?
Oh,
He had,
yeah.
like a horrible name.
Horrible name.
Anyway, so she, sorry, that was a good reference. That's gonna live in my brain rent free for a while.
Good.
For anyone that doesn't know, that was a My Lady Jane reference. Anyway, so she like makes her own armor and her own sword, and then she jousts, and she is able to unseat like the village favorite, which means if you unseat him, at least in this world, I don't know anything about jousting, that means you automatically win. So there's points for if you like hit their shoulder or their head or their body or something, but if you unseat them, that's an automatic win. So she's able to do that. And then Isabel, she finds out like it's her, and Isabel is like the, what do they call it? Like the damsel, where back in ancient times they would have to fight the dragon, like the knights would have to fight the dragon and save the damsel. So she's like the damsel of this market day extravaganza, and she is put up for marriage basically. And she's just like, I don't want to get married. I don't want that like at all. So when she realizes that Gwen is hiding herself because the only people that could be in the tournament are actual knights, like actual men knights. And so she's like, I want you to be in the tournament for me, and I want you to win. And so that way I don't have to marry anybody. So that's like the basic premise of it. And then they have to like, shenanigans ensue, of course.
I think of that thing where it's like, no man can face that dragon, and like she takes off her helmet and she's like, I am no man.
Yep. For someone who doesn't like Lord of the Rings, you can quote it.
Yep.
Yeah, we love Eowyn. But yeah, so it's very much like that. It's very cute, very fun. And the thing that I really like about it is they don't shy away from using like modern words, I guess, modern way of talking. So like she's like, oh, this is my friend Lord Orson, and she's like, Lord Awesome? And I was just like, hey. At first it did take me out of it because I wasn't expecting it, but like now that I'm into it, I'm just like, yeah. And she's
I think
always
that when you go in knowing it, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. Like if you go in and you're like, I want this to be very Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And then it's like, no, just kidding. It's going to be very
yeah.
modern.
And that makes me think of Dickinson.
Right,
Where it's
right.
like, I think if I went into it wanting a story of Emily Dickinson in that time without the weird modern references, I'd be like, this is really off-putting. But
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
know about it, it's fun.
Right.
Yeah, and that's definitely what this this book offers. I also wanted to talk about when I went to the Amy Kaufman book signing last year. She and Megan Spooner was also there. It was really fun because like they talked about it, and Amy had said like this was the funnest she had ever written in a very like the most fun she had writing in a very long time. And so I thought that was really cool. We love when authors enjoy their work. So I wanted to go through and find.
I was going to say, I actually love all of Amy Kaufman's love stories, too.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy all of her love stories, and most of them are heterosexual. So I'm sure I'd still love this one.
Yeah, they do such just a really good time of just having fun and just good banter.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, the banter's not, like, the banter, but it's just, like, the chemistry that the characters have.
Yeah.
So another fun thing about the book that I really loved was it has so many fun chapter titles. So on their Instagram, they posted their top 10 favorites, so I thought I would read you some. So their chapter titles are actual, like, snippets from the chapter. And it's, maybe we could wash the donkeys. Or, the violence is too much for her delicate constitution. And then no lady went in search of a privy alone when she could bring a friend.
That's true.
The sort of thing that gets a girl burned at the stake. That's the first chapter.
Perfect.
And then ridiculously, fabulously pink. So yeah, those are just a couple of the chapter titles that are just really fun. When I read this, I envisioned it very much as like the My Lady Jane show.
Yeah.
With less... I don't know. My Lady Jane show felt very adult to me. Like, I feel like they raised the age of that show from a young adult to more of an adult.
Definitely.
So I just, a YA version of the My Lady Jane show, but with, like, the voiceover
Yeah.
and everything. So, yeah, that's just kind of what I imagined when I was reading it. The only cons that I have for this book is that I think some people just might consider it too silly.
Yeah.
But...
Well, that
didn't.
was the biggest issue I think most people ran into with My Lady Jane is if you
That's
go
true.
into it wanting something that's going to be very serious, you're not going to enjoy it. But
'Cause from
if you
our-
enjoy it, yeah,
Our
our 1 star,
our 1-star review episode, some people were saying, how dare they make Bloody
Yes.
Mary, the bad guy? And I'm just like, oh, dang. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said it's instant attraction, but is it really cheesy instantly with their attraction to each other?
It is. I would say there are moments where she's just like, oh, the emerald of her eyes is just so striking. And I'm like, yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
There's like a couple moments of those. And I feel like that's just also how like a trend of recent writing a lot of people do. But I was able to just ignore those for the most part and focus just on how much I enjoyed just how fun it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could also see it being like a sitcom. I almost like want it to just be a sitcom style. But like not a serious sitcom, but like a Modern Family style
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
I like it. I think I can do instant attraction. I can't do instant love. So I think the instant attraction is fine because, I mean, more often than not, if you see someone that you're attracted to, you do notice, wow, they're attractive. Like, you know, so.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
if you have a chance, so.
I have, and once again, this is me not reading the book at all, but I've had so many instances where I've read a book because they're all like, oh yeah, they're gay in it, and then it's like, them being gay has kind of like, was shoved on me type thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to avoid.
I don't know. I think I'm also like I'm desensitized, I guess, to those kind of things. Like I'm able to recognize that the instant attraction is there, and I'm able to like be like, okay, yeah, we get it. Her eyes are emerald green.
Yeah.
You can like stop.
Yeah.
But I'm also because Amy Kaufman is one of my favorite writers, I'm able to just like she can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
So even though I won't always be like, you know, there's some parts that I didn't like, but also I just, you know,
Yeah.
she's an auto-buy author for me. I'll always read her stuff.
I recently read a book where I liked it because the romance wasn't the main part. It was very much like a bigger plot around it. But
Yeah.
I did find that every time like the attraction was brought up, I was like, this is annoying to me.
Yeah, yeah.
So it kind of took me out of the like plot that was going on. 'Cause I
Right.
was like, I didn't want to, as much as I like it because it was sapphic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I like it's two girls, but it really brought me out of it.
Yeah. And I wonder if, like, I'm trying to think back to, like, the Jasmine Throne.
Mm-hmm.
And we know, I do remember specifically when, who was the main character's name? What was her name again?
Which one?
Not
Priya?
Malini. Priya. When Priya saw Malini for the first time, she, like, talked about her looks a lot. But also, Malini was, like, severely emaciated.
Yeah, that was the other
Yeah.
thing where she was all like, man, she looks sick.
Yeah.
She's pretty, but there's something wrong with her.
Right. So I was trying to like think of those moments, and I think, you know, but that for me is like an adult,
Yeah.
like it's a very high fantasy novel that it didn't feel overpowering to me.
Well, and the other thing that I liked about their interactions, like in the Jasmine Throne, was that their interactions weren't all about them being attracted to each other.
Yeah.
It was, it's kind of like the Bechdel test of romance of like,
There you
if
go.
the only time they talk to each other, they're thinking about how attractive they are to each other, I'm not going to like it.
Let's make our own. Let's call it the book guild test.
The Book Guild test. Does every time they have an interaction, they talk about how attractive they are?
Right.
It does not pass the test.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know.
It's funny because I'm trying to remember what it was that me and Jelani were talking. Oh, I was telling him about that trilogy, and I was like, it's something Megan would really, really, really enjoy. And I was like, it has, you know, this, it has this, it has this, it has romance. And he goes, do you think that people, in your romance books, do you think the characters have problems after they get together, like after the book ends? I was like,
Yeah, it's
5,000%.
definitely
It's never
Always.
happily ever after. But then I was like, the funny thing is that like, that's what I said. I said it's a romance, but it's a one book boyfriend. That's it.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
doesn't matter. It's not. There's no multiple boyfriends and stuff. He like started asking questions. It's like, well, the funny thing is that like, I love romance. Romance is like, I really want romance in my book. I want to be swept away in it. I want to like kick my feet. I want to get super excited about it. I want the banter. I want I live for the romantic tension moments. I was like, Marissa's like almost the opposite of me. Like, yes, there can be romance. Yes, bonus points if it's gay, but it has to be very, very just sprinkled in there. If it is in there, it's not the main plot. It's I might get a handful of romantic moments, but I'm not living for those romantic moments. I was like, and then Megan's somewhere in between.
I am.
She wants some romance, but she's also totally happy if there's no romance whatsoever. And she needs it to be, she can do either way.
Yeah.
I can go for like a straight up romance night. Like you said,
Yeah.
I'll have like the kicking my feet and squealing and going, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then I'll also be in the fantasy where I'm just like, stop.
Yep.
No more.
This is too much.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There are points of like romances that I like, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Can you keep a
Couples that I
secret?
like.
You talked about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
What?
Really fun. Can you keep a secret?
Oh, yeah.
And like obviously I like Lies We Tell Ourselves, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of romance in there. I even Sunset Phoenix, like whenever they have those like weird flirty moments, I'm like cute, but like I move past it because there's more stuff going
Exactly.
on.
Right.
Exactly. And I think that that's what makes a good story is if you have like the balance of everything.
Yeah,
So if there is romance, like, but I guess the balance, what is my personal balance?
exactly.
Right.
So my personal balance, I think, you know, for a romance, I'm going in obviously for 100% romance.
Right.
For a fantasy like The Lotus Empire, I want
Some romance.
7 to 10% romance.
There you go.
But also, I think I could have used a little bit more because that one, especially the Jasmine Throne, it was so confusing in like the first
Yeah.
half of the book that I was like, I think I need something light in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just it changes with each book and with each person.
You guys have both read Aristotle and Dante, right?
No,
Marissa
Marissa has
hasn't.
not.
I have.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm the type of person where when I have a good romantic moment, I will reread that romantic moment over and over and
Oh, yeah.
over again. Aristotle and Dante, that was the last like chapter of Aristotle and Dante.
Mm-hmm.
I reread that last chapter like 10 times after I finished the book,
Yeah.
just because I really, really enjoyed that last like chapter in there, and it had like the good romantic moment, and I was like, oh, I love it. But yeah, I'm the type of person where I'll live in that romantic moment.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and I'll forgive when the plot is really bad sometimes, because if they have a good romance but bad plot, I'm like, all right, I'm here for it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes when I do the highlight rereads, I
Have
read,
your-
like romantic moments. It's not always, but like the Priory of the Orange Tree. Like there's other parts that I will go to, but there's still like the parts that
Yeah.
the Sapphic couple that I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember them. They're cute together.
They're cute together. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of moments like that for me as well. For me, the opposite happened with Dante's
Yeah.
Dante and Aristotle, or Aristotle and Dante, whatever it was. For me, the opposite happened when I decided to read Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh yeah.
And I not grew up because it came out when we were in high school, but I love the Studio Ghibli
Yeah.
movie
Right.
so much. It's not my favorite, but my favorite is Princess Mononoke or
Oh, sorry.
what's the other one? What's the
Spirited
other
Away?
one?
There's a
Spirited
lot of
Away.
them.
Spirited
Got
Away.
you. I
What's
got
the
you.
other one? Yeah, like there's
Just
only other.
the
Yeah.
three. The three.
Three of his.
Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke, and then I also have a very soft spot for Ponyo. But reading the book, and everyone talks, like Angela talks about the book is like one of her all-time favorites. My friend Hannah talks about it and how it's one of her favorites. And I read it thinking it was going to be like as romantic and sweeping as the movie was, but it wasn't, because for me, Sophie had like no interest in Howl for the entire book until the very last like chapter when he was like, oh, it's because you've been falling in love with me for this whole time. And she's
Yeah.
like, right. And I was like, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I didn't get that at all. And I was just like, he told you loved him. And then you were like, oh, I guess so. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
The author literally talks about how like she wrote Hal to be so very unappealing.
He very much was.
Like, in the
He was a
books.
literal toddler.
And it was
with
like,
temper tantrums.
Yes. And then like she's like, and all these girls are just like obsessed with him. And
Because he
she's like,
looks good.
because of the Studio Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, when people became obsessed with him and it was my book, I'm like, no.
But then why did Sophie fall in love with him then? If he's so incredibly unappealing,
Who knows?
why would... I guess maybe I need to finish the series. I don't know. That means I
She's
have
the
to...
main character.
There
'Cause
you
that's
go.
what has to
'Cause That's
happen.
what has to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways,
So, I just sent you. This is totally off topic ish, but I put it into our group chat. I just got this thing that popped up, and it was like, if you love Princess Mononoke, read this book.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm done. Dropping everything.
It's like, what TBR?
But didn't we just talk about that? The writing babes thing of like, those are not reliable.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It tells you why, though. It says why you'll like
I
the
say
book.
we talked about it. You guys talked about it. I scrolled through it because I didn't want the notification.
Every time I see your little icon go down and you've read it, I'm just like, oh, what's Marissa gonna say? Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. No
Half of the
response.
time I'm at work. Okay,
It's
I
true.
can't
That's
actually-
very true.
Yeah.
It's always working when nobody else is working, and then
Yeah.
we have the day out. Well, I'm
Yeah.
not working at all, but anyway.
Me
anyway,
neither.
okay. So that was Ladies' Night.
Yes.
20 minutes ago.
Hey, whatever.
But yeah, so now I'm gonna hop into my other book that I finished just yesterday, and it blew my mind. It is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, who is an all-time favorite author of mine because Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm obsessed with Daisy Jones and the Six. I will never stop talking about it. So I wrote a pros and cons list because for both of you specifically, I know this episode is mostly for our listeners, but I wanted to direct some of the pros and cons to both of you.
Okay.
So the pros, space.
Space.
Well, with the name Atmosphere.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Atmosphere is set in the 1980s. It kind of goes through like 1979 to like 1984. And it's about NASA accepting women into the astronaut program for the first time and putting women in space, basically. And our main character is Joan, and she has like a PhD in like studying the solar rays of the sun or something fancy like that. She is an astrophysicist. She is amazing, and she's been a teacher, but because it's the 80s and women are not as loved as they should have been, she has been like stuck teaching freshmen, and it's not even like the subject that she wants to. It's just like intro to astronomy or something. So her sister calls her, and she just basically says, hey, I saw this like advertisement on TV for women applying to NASA, and you should apply. And she's like, oh, okay. So she applies, and she basically gets accepted, and it's her life over the course of those years training to go into space. And what is really cool about this book is Taylor Jenkins Reid does say in her acknowledgments that she did her best to do the research, but of course she can never be 100% truthful or accurate because she has not been a woman in the 80s going to space.
Right.
So she did her research. She did as much as she could, but also in order to make the story also fun and exciting for readers, she had to like fudge a few things, which is totally understandable. I did not read this. I did not read this book for the accuracy. But she does talk about like physics and space and stars and astronomy and all of this stuff in such a way that I feel those who aren't as interested in space as I am would fully understand. So that's one thing that I think is such a big pro. And that for those that don't know, there's like 4 things that I absolutely love. It's dinosaurs, it's space, it's flamingos, and books. So yes, space is like a very, very big thing. I try and go up to, we have a local observatory that I try to go to like at least 4 or 5 times a year. Just because I want to see the stars and the planets and the moon. So, so she did like such a good job of easing people into like the world of astronauts very well. And she also, I felt, portrayed women in a male-dominated industry, especially in the 80s, where like sexism is very rampant, in a very good way. And she also shows like a lot of aspects of it. Like there's people who laugh along with the men who make these jokes about like, oh, you know, you want to see a big rocket? I'll show you my big rocket. And then there's like a woman that laughs at that joke. Right. And then there's a woman that like yells at the guys and says, here's what you need to do. And then you have Joan who's just like stays silent and just stays away. So there's that. So I think you guys would like this book because there is a sisterly relationship where the sister, not Joan, her sister Barbara, has a daughter, and she's a single mom, and Joan has a very big part of the daughter's life. So I think that Marissa could really relate to that. I will say that is where it ends. Do not look into it further of why I think you guys would like this.
Uh-oh.
Because the relationship is not the best.
Got
I
it.
will say that. But they have their moments where they're like, you know, great for each other. Or to
Sisterly
each other.
moments.
Sisters. Yeah, I mean sisters, you know. But I do think that Marissa would really have a good connection with Joan as being an aunt who, you know, would do anything for her niece or nephew. I also thought that the romance was like really well done. For those that don't know, it is a sapphic romance. It does say on the front cover, atmosphere, a love story. But I will say that the love story is maybe like a ratio of 40%. I would even say less than that. Because it didn't have all the sappiness of like what Ladies' Night had, the like, oh, swooning and all of that stuff. But what was very interesting about this book was it also deals with, in the 80s, you know, homosexual relationships were not as accepted as they are today. So there's a lot of like issues with that. So that is one thing I know Marissa does say that she doesn't really care for, or has not cared for in the past, about books where, oh, I'm gay, but how do I, you know, come to terms with it? So there is moments of that in there. But I would say it's more of her coming to terms with what her sexuality is, because for most of the book, maybe even like 40% of the book, she's wondering if she is asexual or aromantic, because her sister's always like, where's a boyfriend? Where's your boyfriend? And she's just like, I'm going to space.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. But when she realizes, it was just a funny moment of when she realizes that she is a lesbian in the book. That then after that, then she's just like, I'm going to commit to this relationship like 100%. So there is moments where the point of the story is that she has to deal with homosexuality not being, I don't want to say legal, but like
Acceptable.
accepted, because they do talk about sexual deviation, and especially at NASA, because it is a government-run program. They can't have sexual deviance, quote, quote, in there. So that is one thing I don't think that Marissa would like. I am worried that Jenna would not like the sister.
Oh, no.
I don't think anyone's going to like the sister, only because she's just very selfish. Jenna's not selfish, though. And then, I will also say, and this is not a spoiler, it is just something that took me off guard. It has the most abrupt ending ever, but it fits with the 80s.
Okay.
Because if you watch old 80s movies like the Indiana Jones movies, Karate Kid, I would even say the Goonies, they end very quickly. Like, there's no resolution. It's literally in Karate Kid, he defeats the guy, they cheer for him, and that is the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And so the book very much has that 80s feel of it ends after the climax.
Yep.
So I was just kind of like, I was a little shocked at that, because I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And then I clicked it and acknowledgements, and I was like, wait, what? But after I sat with it overnight last night, I realized that I actually really did like that, because I felt that it fit in with the time period and the kind of like style of storytelling that she's trying to say. So with that, does it sound interesting?
It does sound interesting. I think, especially because, like, I really liked the movie Hidden Figures. And it sounds very much like that, of like, you know, women in NASA and trying to like put your place in there and stuff like that. So I do like that.
Yeah.
And then especially if the romance isn't like sappy, like you were talking about with the ladies' night and everything like that, it might be okay for me. So I mean, I put it on my list for sure.
Yeah. And I think, especially since you have read and know the style of, I guess, romance from the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, you can kind of get an idea. But
now, that being said, it did take me like 6 tries to start The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo before I actually read it, because I did not get into the style for a while.
I think Taylor Jenkins Reid has this such unique.
Jenna,
ooh, you're gonna.
you are not doing that properly.
She tried to Spider-Man her way over the arm
She
of the couch.
almost sat on top of her mic and broke it.
I was prepared. I was very, very careful to not hit the mic. I was
You
more
were
worried about
on
this.
the it was pushing the mic over. I was watching it bend.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
Anyway, we survived.
Welcome back.
I'm back. I definitely will put that on my list. As we've talked about, I'm going through like a phase of I'm putting a lot of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books on my TBR, on my Libby.
Yeah.
Um,
You're. It's gonna be like a year and a half before you get Atmosphere,
it's fine.
unless you have a skip the line.
As I say, every once in a while you
Libby.
get to skip the lines, or
Libby.
you sometimes because people skip it so often, you get it much faster than you anticipate too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Um,
I'm curious about the audiobook because I just did the physical.
Yeah.
Oh, and I said I was going to annotate it, but I just
Did not.
was too much into it.
That's fair. But yeah, I definitely would read it, and I think that the funny thing is like, yeah, it's not Marissa's favorite to read those type of books where they struggle with the social acceptability and your own like coming to terms with it. But one of her favorites is The Lies We Tell Ourselves.
Yeah.
and that deals with that. So it's like if it's done well, I think she could really enjoy it. So I think she'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think so. The funny thing is that I also had the Hidden Figures in my head for some
Yeah.
reason when you were talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because I was like, I'm going to add Hidden Figures to my TBR. And I was like, Jenna, why are you adding that to your TBR right now?
Yeah.
But it was another one of those things where it just popped into my head
Yeah.
of that. But,
I will say it is slightly different because Hidden Figures are the calculators.
Right.
And this is about like straight up NASA and sending women into space. And there's this whole, what was it? Not Sally Fields. Who was the first woman in space?
Pretty sure she's also gay.
Oh, very cool.
Not Sally Fields, the first woman in space.
Oh, first American woman, we should say. Sally Ride.
Yeah.
So like there is a moment in the book where as they're watching Sally Ride, so there is a lot of like real moments, and obviously these characters and the like situation of their world is fictional, but there's a lot of real moments that they talk about. And they talk about Sally Ride going into space, and there's this one Henri girl who I think might be considered on the spectrum because she feels that she is like better than everybody and will correct everyone. Like she says at one point, "You're putting the dishes in the dishwasher wrong," and it's like you don't need to say those things.
Yeah.
You can keep those to yourself. Anyway, so she, like everyone's like talking, and she's like, she better, like Sally Ride, the woman, she better make it and do okay because otherwise they will find any reason to just say, oh no, women are not strong enough or not ready, or you know, we made a mistake of putting her in space, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's like moments like that where it kind of draws on the Hidden Figures moment of, as women and women of color in the movie, can we do this?
Yeah.
Like when they actually brought in the computation machine,
yeah.
and then the one woman is like reading the manual to like learn about it.
Yeah.
And then when there's like, we don't know what's going on, and she's like, oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like that moment specifically, where it's like, yes, you have to like step in and say, I am ready, or like, yes, I am the one who knows this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me take control. So
Had
Yeah.
to fight for all their milestones and
exactly. So yeah, so that was that. Having read 3 of, I would say personally, Taylor Jenkins Reid's like most popular books, I think that she does such a unique job of telling such drastically different stories. So the one, Daisy Jones and the Six, is about the music industry. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is about the movie industry and how, like sexuality in that. And then this one is now about like the science or the STEM field. But I think she does such a good job of telling these stories in such a unique way that draws you in and doesn't sound like condescending, I should say. So like for anyone that doesn't know anything, it's more about like, let me educate you about this moment in time. So yeah.
oh,
Hey Taylor, you're cool.
you're cool.
You're cool.
No, I really enjoy her books. I read Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I really enjoyed it. And then I went and I added a ton of her books to my my Libby being like, okay, let's bring in some others because I'm kind of in this mindset and I really enjoy these books. And then I read One True Loves, which is not my favorite.
Yeah, that wasn't my mom's favorite either.
I would say you told me that with your mom, and I kind of was like, I can agree with her. I can see it. It's not bad. The hard part was that I saw where it was going about halfway through the book.
Okay, yeah.
And it was like, it just didn't vibe. It's like one of those things where it's like, it's all about. So the premise of that one was a woman who's married to her high school sweetheart, who she's been in love with since she was 17. On their 1-year anniversary, or right before their 1-year anniversary, he is in a helicopter crash over the Pacific Ocean and presumed dead. And then 3 years later, after that, she's fallen in love with a boy that she had known in high school who had a crush on her, but she'd kind of missed their window. And he's proposed to her. They've been together for a while. And so she's engaged to him, and then her husband calls her because they found him alive.
Yeah.
And so, like, the whole premise is, like, who do you choose, your fiance or your husband? And it's like, you're sitting there and you're kind of, you're reading it, and it's like...
It's two parallel stories that are told.
Yeah. It's
alternating
kind of
chapters.
Two parallel stories. Well, it starts... What it is it starts the way she did it with Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I enjoyed, where it was like, here's her love story with Jesse, who is her husband, and then here's her love story with Sam, who's her fiance. And then it's like, and then after, when you find out that the husband's alive, and then the resolution. So it's like 4 parts that way. And it was like, at first I was like, oh my gosh, how do you choose? And then as you're reading it, you're like, oh, I totally know what's going to happen. Like, and it just kind of like loses that oomph, I guess, for me. But that being said, Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was phenomenal. And I liked it so much that I still enjoyed One True Love. So I want to read more of her books.
Yeah. I want to
sure.
do, is it Malibu Rising, I think, is the one that's about tennis?
Yeah, that one's...
I want to do that one.
That one's
or
on
Carrie
my list,
Soto is Back is the one I think that's about tennis.
Yeah, Malibu Rising, I don't remember which ones are which, but I do have all of them on my thing. So I remember having each of them. But what I loved about Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is my book, so we can all talk about it now.
Yeah. I remember nothing. Except that I loved it. And the very ending.
Well, I mean, the thing is that, like, I think that sometimes when you start talking about things, like little things, you'll be like, oh, I remember that, you know, those kind of things. And I like that we're ending on this one because I feel like you guys can kind of talk with me, whereas before I kind of, like, got to, like, listen to each of your guys'. So we get to kind of talk about all of this.
I'll do my best.
And stuff. But... So with the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, with the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, the premise of that is that she took like Taylor Jenkins Reid took Elizabeth Taylor and kind of used her as inspiration to build this like most beautiful woman who had this huge career and stuff like that, and is like super into her charities and raising stuff as she's gotten older, and raising money for things that matter to her and stuff. Am I still not talking loud?
You lifted it and then started talking up.
Sorry. So she's really into all this stuff, but she's kind of like really private, and so people don't really know much about her. And so it's told from the perspective of Monique Grant, who is a writer, who she's kind of like low bottom of the totem pole kind of writer at a huge magazine, and they are like, oh, okay, Evelyn Hugo wants to do an exclusive with us. And they were like, she's like, great. And they're like, she wants you. That's it. Like, we gave her all our best writers and she just wants you. And she's like, why would she choose me? And they're like, we don't know. Why would she choose you? And so you have this like whole mystery of like, why did she choose Monique? And it's told from her perspective, but she goes and she has interviews with Evelyn Hugo, and Evelyn's like, look, I'm ready to tell you everything. Like, I'm going to tell you all of it. She goes, but this isn't for the magazine. It's for you. You're going to take what I tell you. You're going to write my biography, and you're going to sell it. She's like, make the money that a white man would make.
Yeah.
Like, make them pay you what they'd pay a white man. And I just thought it was really well done. It was really interesting. It was broken down into her 7 husbands. And I think that when I was going into this, I knew it was going to be sapphic. I knew that she had 7 husbands. But I was kind of like, okay. And I knew the last line.
Yeah.
That's what I knew. I knew the last line. So I was like, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I'm going to read this book and it's going to be like build up to the girl relationship. And I'm going to hear these love stories with these 7 men. And I'm just going to be like, I don't care about this love story. I don't care because it's not what matters, right? And it's not going to like get to that point. But it wasn't. The love story was there throughout the whole book. So it wasn't like this thing where it was like, okay, I loved my first husband. I loved my second husband. I fell in love with my third husband. It's like each of them served a purpose and all of that. And then each part of the book was broken down by husband. And I loved the parts because it's like part 1 is poor Ernie Diaz. Part 2 is goddamn Don Adler. Part 3 was gullible Mick Riva. Part 4 was clever Rex North. Part 5 was brilliant, kind-hearted, tortured Harry Cameron. Part 6 was disappointing Max Gerard. Part 7 was agreeable Robert Jameson. And then, like, obviously there's the beginning before those where it kind of sets it all up. And then it has, like, the little moments in between each of the chapters and the ends and the parts and stuff where it has, like, clips from newspaper settings and stuff like that. I loved it. It took me back to old world Hollywood. It took me back to that fun time. And it really, like, I thought what was so beautiful about it was that there was a parallel between Evelyn Hugo realizing she's bisexual. And she's, like, has 2 parts to her. And then Monique Grant, who's the writer, who's biracial. And she has both her 2 parts of her too, so she feels that like torn like parts of her, and I thought that was beautifully written. I loved all of that. I felt like I had so much to talk about with this, and now it's been so long I don't remember all of it. And then I loved that Evelyn wasn't super likable. She was very much like, she was very likable and she was very charismatic, but she had a lot of her faults, but she owned them. But then so did her girlfriend, her
Celia.
Yeah, her love. So she also had a lot of like bad to her as well. She was very charismatic. You loved her. You fell in love with her through Evelyn, but at the same time, you're like, both of you guys kind of suck too. Neither one of you was like right all the time. So it was interesting. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I remember it took me a long time to get into it because I was not expecting the journalist aspect of it, and so it was like when I was reading about the journal, I can't stand, and this is a personal critique on books, but I cannot stand when writers talk about writers.
No Stephen King books for you.
I can't do when it's all like what was the 7-Year Slip?
Oh yeah.
That you were trying to get me to read.
The Dead Romantics?
No,
7-Year Slip.
Oh, okay.
Because she was a writer. I mean, I don't know if Dead Romantics, she might have been a writer in that too.
She was a ghostwriter in Dead Romantics.
Whatever it was. I can't stand when writers talk about being writers. It annoys me. Because it feels self-insert for me. So I just every time I try to start it, I'm all like, oh, they're talking about being in the writing industry. I don't care about this right now.
So that's funny because Stephen King in The Dark Tower put his literal self into that because
that's one thing that, like, if it's an intentional self-insert, I mean, I haven't read it, so I can't say for sure if I'd like it, but it's one thing when it's intentional. It's another when it's all like, I'm going to write about being a writer because that's what I know and I've gone through it a lot, that I just it takes me out of it.
But all of his other characters, so like
I know, like Misery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But even still, it's just, I don't think I've ever read Stephen King, actually.
Interesting.
Although I do want to now read The Life of Chuck since I watched the movie. But
and isn't that just is a novella, right?
That's a short story.
Oh, short story. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so we're starting The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I'm like, I couldn't do it for so long because I didn't care about it. I
Yeah.
didn't want to read about a journalist. And it didn't take me until we were actually, like, in Evelyn Hugo's past. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I like reading about Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah.
And then they take you out of it and they talk about Monique. And I'm like, I don't care about Monique. Like, I understand there's this weird mystery going around, but I don't care about Monique. I just want to read about Evelyn Hugo.
And that's interesting to me because going in knowing absolutely nothing and having the Monique part, I completely forgot about her because I only cared about Evelyn Hugo
Yeah.
and her story. So I completely forgot that Monique even existed until you brought her up again. And I was just like, oh, that's right.
Monique is so important at the end.
right.
Yeah.
When
Exactly.
you figure out why she's important.
So incredibly
But
important. Yeah.
I'm like, throughout it, I'm like, I don't care. It's interesting reading about her, like, playing with these guys and, like, using them. And
Yeah.
then some of them she actually loves. Some of them she's just using. Some of them... My
Look.
favorite still was Harry, I think.
Yes. Look, I will say I love reading about strong women who are just like, yeah, I did this and I had to do it and I don't care and this is just what I did to make my way. And Evelyn Hugo had that charismatic way of being like, don't let life just drag you along. Take it by the balls. Like, do that. And it's like, that made me want to be that way more. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like, I don't have to grab life by the balls as a stay-at-home mom.
I think...
But
I think it was cool because, like, you have the first one, and the first one felt very much like a you have to get married type deal. And once she started choosing her husbands, I did find it interesting how she learned from each one of,
Right.
like, one of them she thought she was in love with, but the more, like, it felt like a very typical marriage of, like, we were in love, we got together, we kind of realized this isn't working out. We were very volatile, like very violent with each other, and then we broke up.
right.
And so she learned later, like, well, I'm not going to marry for love anymore. I'm going to do it for this one. And then
Right.
each one had a different lesson to them.
I liked who was it? It wasn't Mick Riva. Mick Riva was the gullible one. It was the one after Mick, I want to say. Who
I don't remember who the last one was. I'll be honest with you. I think the last one was another one that she was all like, I actually like this person, but it was kind of a
Clever
settling.
Rex North. So Clever Rex North was the one who it was like they decided we're gonna promote the heck out of our movie
Yeah.
and we're gonna get married. And he's like, yeah, but like I don't love you and I kind of want to sleep around. She's like, yeah, go ahead, sleep around. I don't care. I'm gonna do my thing. You do your thing. Like
Yeah.
this is purely to advertise the movie. And he's like, all right. He goes, I mean, I kind of want to sleep with you because you're Evelyn Hugo. And she's like, yeah, no, not happening. Like,
Yeah.
and it was like I liked that. I liked him because it was just like she's like, this was probably my most honest marriage. And like
Yeah.
I loved that. But yeah, I loved it. I thought that was a really good book. And the thing is I've given away more to this book and I want readers or listeners to listen to this and want to read it. So I don't want to give away too much more of it because when I went into it, I didn't know. Like I said, I knew it was sapphic, and I knew that the last line of the book, and I was like, all right, like I know I want to read this, but
You imagine if you didn't know it was Saturday?
I didn't.
It? Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
But I'm
going into
thinking
it.
Jenna, because Jenna's going to be like, another one.
another one, 7 husbands.
I was going for a straight romance. Marissa.
I think that's kind of what I did at first. Is I picked it up and I thought, oh, okay, I want to read this kind of. But then it was like, oh, it's an LGBTQ novel, and I was like, for real? Okay, Marissa, you got to read it and tell me what it is. But yeah,
I do appreciate that it is unapologetically bi.
Yeah.
It's not she was gay and she just married husbands to hide it. She had husbands that she legitimately
truly loved,
yeah. And I think Taylor Jenkins Reid said that she was bi. I think she's come out as bi. So I think that's pretty common in a lot of her books is not necessarily bisexuality, but having two parts of you.
They talk
Having something that's like pulls you in two separate directions.
they'll have a lot of like interviews with celebrities and stuff where they'll say like, oh, you used to be bisexual or something like that, and they're like, what do you mean used to be? I still am. And like, well, you're married to a man now, and it's like, doesn't mean I'm not bisexual.
Right.
I just happened to fall in love and marry a man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I have it's Pride Month. I have a lot of friends that once Pride Month came around were posting things just because I'm married to a man doesn't mean I'm not bi.
Yeah.
Like, still bisexual, even though I'm married. Like,
Yeah.
and it's same thing with even if you're married to a woman. Like,
Yeah, still bisexual.
not a lesbian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I think the thing is what I'm learning more and more is that like that you can find pieces of yourself in books even if they're not geared for your sexuality or what you're interested in. So it's like I like those things. I like finding things that it's like, that resonates with me even though I may not be that way. You know?
Yeah.
I guess bisexual is probably the closest one that I am, but
Yeah.
but in general, like I can read gay novels. I am not a man. I am not a gay man at all. So but I can still find pieces of that'll resonate with me too.
People are people.
Yep.
And that was the one line that I sent our Writing Babes chat
Yeah.
from Atmosphere, that it was, happiness is so hard to come by. I don't understand why anyone would begrudge anyone else for managing to find some of it. And I'm just like, yes,
I love it.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it right here. Wherever you get your happiness, whether it's through love or through, just books, or even
Right.
people who are aromantic or asexual, it's just like they can find their own, happiness through other things. It doesn't have to, just because, Jenna has a wife and kid. Whoa. Jenna has a
Wow,
husband.
surprising.
A husband
Sorry,
and a
Jelani.
kid. Doesn't mean that, that's the path that everyone else has to go on. So,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
Find your own happiness, people.
Totally.
So with that,
Yeah, let's wrap it up because I do know this is a long episode, and like I said, I don't want to give away too much about Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo because there's so much that I think you can get from it. But yeah, I think they were all really good. But since those are books that we have read, what books are we reading, guys?
let me look
Marissa,
it up.
what are you reading?
I am reading Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead
Okay.
by Emily Austin.
Listen, since I just edited this last week's episode and I gave you a long, weird title and you're just like, I hate it so much. And I'm just like, really? Because that's very much a Marissa title.
I don't remember what it was, but I remember you said something in the title that
It was
I'm like, I
seeking,
hated it.
seeking Sister.
Yeah, something like that. I did.
But it was a long, funny title. And I was just like, Marissa's going to love this. And then the first thing she says is, I hate this. And I was like, dang it.
It was the title. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
the length of the title. It was the actual title itself.
It's
that I
got to be
didn't like.
quippy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's got to be fun.
It has to be about murder or death or cannibalism in some way, right?
So, this book by Emily Austin. So, the description of this book sounds like a poorly described book, but it's actually what the book is about. So, basically, an atheist lesbian who is obsessed with death accidentally gets a job at a Catholic church.
Oh, gosh.
So
I love
she's
it.
like literally in a car accident and loses her job and tries to find like a mental health thing, and she answers this flyer without realizing it's for a Catholic church, but it's like, hey, mental health for you, and she goes to it. She's like, oh shoot, this is a church, and she like is too socially awkward to just walk away, so she walks in and the guy in there is all like, oh, are you here for the interview? And so she's too socially awkward to say no, and she gets the job.
This sounds like Marissa's life.
No, it's great. And then she's just like the entire time is obsessed with like, because the person that had the job before her died, so she's thinking about her death. And then there was like a building that was on fire, and she was thinking about like, oh, what if the cat that's missing was in that building and it
Oh,
died? And
gosh.
it just like spirals in her head. But it's really fun.
That sounds fun. It kind of reminds me like of a Kurt Vonnegut type book with the fun, quippy, interesting thoughts.
The way that it is narrated makes me think of Fight Club.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Like the narrator from Fight Club is what I think of when I
From the movie or the book?
Both, but the movie was what I was thinking of most
Okay.
recently because it's been
Yeah.
years since I read the book. So
I have
couldn't
not
say
read
for
the book,
sure.
so that's why I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What about you, Megan? What are you reading?
I am reading one of the arcs that we got. I'm reading Red City by Marie Lu. It is an arc that we got accepted for, so I wanted to get our ranking up super high so we can get both the next Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi when that comes out,
Yes.
and Tasha Suri's new book. So I want to see it accepted. So I want to get our ranking up very high, and we can get automatic exceptions. So yeah, I will have a review for that probably in 2 weeks for
Nice.
listeners.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm finally gonna read Megumi and the Nightmare Painter.
Just the end of the month where you had a deadline.
Look, I am cutting it as close as I possibly can. I
Will
did
you
also
have it done by Monday?
That,
so we can exchange.
That's my goal. That's my hope, is that I can give it to Ryan by Monday. It's not a bad book. It's just that it's not what I was looking for. Like I've been reading Taylor Jenkins Reid's and Allie Hazelwood and stuff like that. So it's like it's a very different vibe. So I'm buckling down and forcing myself to read that. I did also just accept Sunrise on the Reaping on Libby right before I said, Jenna, you're running out of time. You have to read Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. So that might be my other side audiobook, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so you guys can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Check out our Instagram. We'll put Marissa's webtoon trailer on there with this episode, and we'll be posting reviews for our arcs. That's also on my list of things to do. That's why I'm like skipping a lot of my Libby stuff right now, because I want to do some of the arcs. And we'll be posting reviews there. And yeah, find us Braless Book Guild. If you don't know what it is, you probably shouldn't be listening randomly to things that you don't know.
No, that's
Look,
fine. You go
welcome.
ahead.
Welcome.
Look
We
at
love
your
you.
screen.
Thanks for making it this far.
Yeah, so find us there and rate, review, subscribe, do all the things, and tell us what you like. Interact with us so that Marissa has people to interact with about her webtoon without having to search for you. Yeah, that'll be
Marissa
it.
may not respond.
I
Wait.
may or may not respond.
I do have to give you guys a quote. There's still a quote.
Yeah, which one are you going to choose? Mine or Marissa's? Huh? Who's your favorite? I gave 3.
By the odds. Well, the funny thing is, I found that quote yesterday, and I'm like, I'm gonna send this to Den.
But you didn't. But you
Forgot
didn't
it.
send it. I sent it after me.
Yeah, and then I was like, she's sending quotes. Didn't I send a quote? I didn't send a quote.
So the funny thing is that originally I was going to say F both of you guys and do an Evelyn Hugo quote.
Dang
Do
it.
But
Do
then
what you want to do. You're the host.
I really did feel like Marissa's quote resonated with what I was saying at the end of this, where it says, it's by Aaron H. Why did I do this? Because I can't pronounce his last name.
Was it
Aceves. I guess it is true that us queers are starved for stories that mirror our lives. I can't remember a time when I saw a queer person in a movie or TV show or book that I didn't have to actively seek out myself. And I thought that kind of resonated with what we were talking about, and finding pieces of yourself in these books.
Yeah.
So,
Except
yeah.
for you don't actively seek it out. You just find it and then give it to me.
I just have a freaking I'm a one of those metal detectors for gay books.
There you go.
But yeah. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks.
Bye. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Woo!